It's stage 8 of the Vuelta España, Ubeda to Cazorla, 159 kilometers. I predicted a win by Primoz Roglic. I did not predict the other issues that were going to happen. Look, is Sepp Kuss going to be the team leader for Visma Lease bike? Are they going to ride for him in support of him? We will see. Is there other stuff that's happening? How is Ben O'Connor going to be on the day? There's a lot of things to shake out. And then tomorrow, we've got a big stage. Between Two Wheels podcast coming up. Welcome, everybody. It's Tyler Yonke, Between Two Wheels podcast. We're trying all kinds of stuff here. We're new, different, open. We're just playing around here. Vuelta a España. Let's take a look at the route for today. There it is, just basically 100 miles. And we talked about this yesterday in the preview. 5.6%, 7.3 kilometer Cat 2 at about 100 kilometers in. And then there was a descent, a few pitches, a bonus intermediate sprint, time bonus, and then we're going to hit this last climb, 4.8 kilometers, 7.2%. And I did say that, look, it's Cat 3, but if you look here at the bottom here, it's got this black section, pretty steep, right near the finish. As a matter of fact, it starts out steep too. It's hit at 16% right at the beginning. So we always knew that there was going to be some issues that we were going to have to deal with. Now, look. Thanks, Victor. Nice intro. All I did was cut the other one in half because it was a little bit too long. Welcome aboard, Victor. So what do we have here? And we're going to talk about the race, but what did we do yesterday? We talked, first of all, let's go back to stage 4. And then this morning I listened to Geraint Thomas's podcast interview with Sepp Kuss after the Vuelta. It just got me more riled up here. Visma Lease bike has not had a great season for the Grand Tours. Going to the Giro, Keon Brooks is going to be their guy, I presume. Nothing there. And then you go into the Tour de France, and you've obviously got the crash problems that we've talked about from the Tour of the Basque Country with Jonas. He comes out second. Mateo, it was okay. They didn't have. Look, last year they won all 3, dominated, right? And then we come into the Vuelta, and Sepp has had some health problems, so he didn't do those first 2 races. And then we're like, okay, well, let's see what happens here. And we have this team around him, and I am not impressed. Wout's here. Wout gets a big win yesterday, but let's back up a little bit. I pointed out on stage 4, going into the final climb, that pitch, it's 14K out. Wout decides he's going for the green points jerseys, so he's doing all this sprinting, and then he just sits up, and no one is putting the defending champion, Sepp Kuss, into position. They come around this left-hand corner. He's out of position. He's like 20 plus people back. He's really got a hammer on the pedals. Gap. He's got to close gaps. He gets it back up there, and then he's shot for the end. So we don't, and it's just this weird dynamic. Okay, he loses 20 some seconds. Okay, whatever. Similar type of thing here. We come into a right-hand corner, and we're going to see, does the team put him into position? Now, scratch that a little bit back to yesterday. Sepp goes over the top of the climb with Wout. There's no other guys that are able. Wout gets over the finish climb with the top 30, and there's only 2 teammates. No Kreuzweg. No one is there except for him. And then Sepp does ridiculous stuff on the front. Should he have been doing that with the 2 big mountain days to come today and tomorrow? I don't know. But what I indicated yesterday was by him doing so, you're basically going to be putting into effect that you're just kind of going for the green jersey. And the team just kind of like, good luck, Sepp. You can do it on your own. Let's get right into the highlights. I've tried to cut up this video here. This is it. This is your 100. And so hopefully we won't get struck here. I'll do a little few things. There's a break up the road. You've got several riders here. Luscano's up there. Uman, Vergaledido, Lascano, Schmid, Libery, several different riders here. Wait, Mark Tucker's did Sepp get caught up behind that crash today or at the bottom of the final climb? We will show you. I have a breakdown of Sepp, a little bit of a crash coming up here. Mark Tucker, thanks for joining us. I hope you're doing good. I just came back from the gym. I need to go take a shower, but I did change my shirt. But we're gonna try to get back on the bike here too. Liberia up there. This break is up the road, and then decathlon. They get you can see 4.5 minutes or so. 90 kilometers. Decathlon is trying to control things for their red jersey. They're doing just fine. And then the break is still going up there. Now it's 5-6 minutes. It's getting close to that. And, do you really have any threats up there? Well, Taberi's up. No, not Taberi. I'm trying to remember the rider for, what's his name here? Let's go back here. Do we have it listed here on who is up there on the road? It's the Kazakhstan rider. We'll get to it. It's a little bit dangerous because he's starting to make reins in here into the top 10 or so. But then you get Israel Premier Tech coming on the front. Riley Sheehan, the American, raced with his dad, Clark, back in the day. And he won Perry Tours, 2 years ago or so. He's on the front here, and the whole team is on the front for Israel Premier Tech. I mean, look, Riccatello had a great stage 4. Came off a little bit, actually gapped, rode back up to the front, had a good shot at the win, super steep. He was riding well, had a great Tour de Suisse earlier this year. However, he crashed on stage, I want to say 5, didn't do so good on stage 6 or 6 to 7. Yeah, it was stage 6 when Ben O'Connor won. He crashed on that one. Stage 7 yesterday, he didn't get over that top climb. So the wreck must have affected him a little bit. And he's riding better than everyone else on his team, or he was. So you've got Michael Woods, maybe George Bennett. I'm not sure why Israel was doing this work on the front, but they're bringing this thing back. And along with Decathlon, and you're like, okay, what? You're just leading yourself into helping out Roglic, because if he's there, it's just like you saw with Pogacar. You get down to the finish, and if you've brought it close enough, he's going to do what he can to take it. Anyway, there's intermediate sprints, King of Wham stuff, and right around the same time, Wout has some trouble at the back here. Evidently, it was like about 100K still to go, I think. I don't know. It was decent amount of time. He dropped the chain, gets back on. He does get back up into the group. 19K to go, 2.5 minutes. That obviously is coming down. These guys roll through the intermediate sprint, no problem. Luscano's back there. Ciccone goes down hard. 15.8 to go. They're getting ready to get to the last 4.5 kilometers, or basically where that climb is. I saw online where some deer ran across the road and took out Ciccone and this other guy here. That's not a good way to go down, and that's a sucky way to go down. Would you rather get hit by deer or get taken out by someone, team leader, or the other guy's wheel? Because we will get to that in a second. 13.2 kilometers to go. Luscano's takes off. He decides he's going to make his break for it. You know what I'm going to do here really quick? I'm going to take a look, because I have everyone's names in my head, and then next thing you know, I don't have their names in my head. Harold Tejada. Tejada is up there. He gets up the road, and he tries to go with Luscano. And they're trying to make a little bit of a break for it. But as you can tell, it's going to come down to the main guy. There you go. Luscano, Virgilito, and Tejada are all up the front. They hit the bottom of the climb. Tejada takes off. He's dropping immediately. Luscano, they're already having a little trouble, and you know that it's just a matter of time. Okay, here we go. Here is the main group coming around this last corner. Now, I was trying to go back to it in the last 6 or so kilometers. You had Attila Volta. I think that's who it was. One of the riders for Sepp Kuss's team. I'm going to take a look here. Team Visma Lease bike. Yeah, it was Attila Valter, I think, either him or Hessink, one of those guys, or Affini. It might have been Affini as well. One of those guys was getting Sepp Kuss into position early on, the last 5-6 kilometers, about 2 coming into this turn, when they hit this steep pitch here. However, coming into the end of it, it's Sepp just kind of by himself the last kilometer or so, and he's fighting, he's making his way. He should not be doing anything but sitting on a wheel of Wout. Where Wout's not there. Why? Just remember, you said yesterday, Wout. You said this yesterday. I will never forget what Wout did. What Sepp did for me. Well, you could have just done a little bit today. Just bury yourself into this final climb, pull off, and you would be fine. Right? Be fine. Meanwhile, I don't know which team. This is Bora on the front. They're come flying around here. Now watch here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. There's a little wreck on the behind here. Now it's hard to see on this one, but I did zoom in. Here you go. Okay, so here's Sepp Kuss coming around the corner. In front of him, you have 2 Bora riders. One is Vlasov, and I'm not sure who the other one is. Vlasov is 2. It comes from. You can't even see Vlasov, as a matter of fact. And let's I don't know if we could back up just a tad bit here. Okay, so as Sepp comes around the corner, let's go into the zoom mode here. And zoom. Okay, so as they come around the corner, you can see a Bora rider right in front of him to his right a little bit, coming around this right-hand corner. You can't even see Vlasov because he's so far on the other side of this Trek rider. It might be Skilmos. However, right here on the far left side of the road, Vlasov decides he needs to go to the right side of the road. And all of a sudden you can see him appearing here. He comes in and then he just keeps diving further. And next thing you know, he hits his own teammate's wheel and then Sepp Kuss goes down. I think it's abhorrent. There's no need for any of this to be happening. And then he's standing on the side of the road and he throws his bottle down. I don't know who you were upset at, but you went from one side of the road to you were a Mark Cavendish, but starting on the bottom of a climb. Ridiculous. Now, look, this took out Sepp Kuss. Okay, so a bunch of guys go down. It just throws everything. Throw your bottle. And throws the bottle. Anyway, up the road, they just keep going. They be in Roglic. You've got Carapaz. You've got several riders. Ben O'Connor, he seems to be in good position. I think you had Isaac Del Toro, Enric Mas there up there. And there's a big gap. And then there's riders all over the place. And, Roglic is not holding back at this point. It's a steep, steep climb. And then you have at some point about halfway, I don't know, about a kilometer or two into this thing, you do, because I missed it here on this little update. Sepp Kuss comes back to this main group, and I'm like, wow, there's two yellow jerseys. Now, Arkea, they're wearing yellow because they're normally in red, so they're wearing yellow so that they don't get confused with the red jersey. But it does confuse me because at times you think Sepp has teammates there or he's there. He wasn't there. It was an Arkea rider, and then Sepp Kuss is there. Finally, he gets right back up. And when he does, that's when Roglic decides to just punch it again. And it just dispels Sepp Kuss right off the back. And guys are all over the place. Sepp did say João Almeida had a bad day. He was losing time out the back quite nicely. Roglic is there. He keeps putting it on. And Enric Mas, they catch Terrell Tejada. Ben O'Connor has trouble. And he had Felix Gull pulling for him up the climb. But in the last 500 meters, Felix just says, I'm sorry, I'm out, and takes off. Van Eltveld, he had to come back from that. Sepp Kuss had a tough time. He was hanging with, I want to say, Del Toro and Simon Yates. In the end, though, even with Enric Mas trying to put Roglic into the barriers on these twisty little corners, Roglic gets there, doesn't really do a post-up. He does a fist bump. And then how much time was it going to be? I said yesterday, 30 seconds are going to get, I predicted it was going to be Roglic with the win. Enric Mas will be there. I thought maybe Van Eltveld and Sepp Kuss. I was kind of what I said, the little group like that. And they're going to put 30 seconds on Ben O'Connor. However, they were able to put a little bit more time on Ben O'Connor than just the 30 seconds. There comes Ben O'Connor, 40-some seconds down. But remember, 10-second time bonus for Roglic doing his Roglification as he does. Boom, comes over there, little fist pump. But Enric Mas wasn't able to do it. He got second place on the day. Over a minute down was Sepp Kuss. So there you go. There's our overall Roglic on the stage. 14 seconds to Landa, who was kind of with him, then was off. He had a little bit of tough time. Tiberi comes up there, 17 seconds. Skilmos, he got 21. Carlos Rodriguez for Ineos, he was 21 seconds down. Tejada, he ends up hanging in for 24 seconds. Eddie Dunbar or Jaco, 26 seconds. Van Eetvelt, 29. Jack Haig, 29 as well. And we'll go through the whole roster here in a second here. Let's see. What's the overall? Come on, get to this video here. All right, there we go. There's the overall. Ben O'Connor loses about 50 seconds, close to it. 3:49 now over Roglic, and you're like, okay, well, maybe you didn't need to panic. Mas, 4:31, he's moving up. Everyone's moving up except for Sepp Kuss, Felix Gall down there in top 10. There you go. Okay, so I'll just do a little here's the wreck again. We'll just throw this here. It's just rip over him, bam, hits his own teammate's front wheel, and Sepp goes down. It's so unnecessary to be riding like that at this stage where you're there. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay, let's take a look here at all the teams, and we'll break down. There you go. Roglic, Sepp Kuss comes down here, 107 back. In there with Mike Woods. Remember, Israel Primertech, Bennett was here. He lost 39 seconds. Once again, I don't know where they were going to try to get him. Vlasov, he comes in here, 201 down, okay, with Riccatello, 204. So not such a great day for Riccatello either. So I don't really know what Israel Primertech was doing. And then we got here, and Adam Yates, 27th place, Riccatello, 38th, and Sepp Kuss now 622 down. But where is he at? So, 3.5 or so under that to Roglic. Still not. Let's go to see if we can go head to head and pick Moss and Sepp Kuss. How come it's not sorting it? I don't know. I'll have to figure out how to do this thing better. Okay, so that's what we saw. Let's go to time one lost here on the day for the GC. 56 seconds. These are all the guys in green. Sepp Kuss is the only one in the top 15 that didn't go past Ben O'Connor, even Tejada. I mean, you lose 21 seconds there. That's just not what's going to happen. I think Sepp just put himself too deep. As a matter of fact, I did see what do you call it? An interview where he was it was actually Visma Lease bike. They were talking about it, and they just said, hey, he said, I just had to bury myself going too deep to try to get back up to that group, just like you did the other day. So I mean, there's once again, if you even have a teammate there with you, anybody, when you crash and you're able to get back up and try to regain, maybe you have a teammate that can just start to pace you a little bit instead of you having to panic, but there's just no one there. It blows me away that you have a defending champion of a race. I mean, last year you came in there with this ridiculous team, but there's no one here that's able to support you. I mean, yes, you lost Primoz Roglic. He was a teammate last year. Did he help much? It seems like this year's going more difficult. Okay. All right, so let's see where we are for tomorrow. Oh, sorry, I want to bring this up. Okay, so let's take a look at the profile, because tomorrow I think it's going to be a little bit better of a day for a Sepp Kuss type. And by the way, I'm not holding them out. I think, once again, he's been losing time, and it's hard to dictate how that really is going, because that time that he's losing is one little fluky. These quick punchy things. It's not his forte. He's just kind of had some bad luck in here. So I'm hoping, I'm a Sepp Kuss fan. I want him to defend well, but I'm also kind of pulling for Ben O'Connor today. Today was not super indicative, but it wasn't great. I expected 30 seconds out of him. Okay, you're going to lose that. And who knows what his prep was coming into this race, right? But he rode so strong on stage 7 or 6 that you just think that it's going to be, hey, he's got some good fitness. We assume so, and it's going to be fine. But in tomorrow's stage is going to be a little bit better for a Ben O'Connor, and I think Sepp Kuss style as well. Cat 1, 7.7%, 8.9 kilometers to soften up the legs about halfway through the stage. Then you're getting another Cat 1, 7.1 kilometers at 9.6, and then a 5 kilometers at 5.3 into this sprint, and then the last 7.1, 9.6%, and then it drops down here the last 20 some kilometers down the hill. So you're really going to be racing up to the top of this thing, the Alto de Hazellanas. And let's see if we can see the climb. Here's the first Cat 1. Looks pretty pitchy, but it has a little descent, and then another pitch back up. The second one, I think do they hit the same one twice? Yeah, the Alto, they hit that one twice. So they'll hit it twice. They'll get a good idea of how that comes in. But there you go. Steep, little pitch off, steep in the middle, and then a little bit softer at the end. So that will be, this is the kind of thing here. It's not a pitch up to the top. It's going to be, you're going to attack here, this lower section maybe, and then the steep part, you're going to be okay. And then you're going to, not a steep part, that's the better spot for attacking and rolling it over the top. And we'll see how that goes down to the descent. I've still got faith in Sepp Kuss. I still think he can pull something off here. And who knows? Maybe we will. Maybe look, they got Roglic on this side, Sepp Kuss over here on this side. Is it going to be in between? Sepp still has a chance to be in that top 10. I mean, top 3. I still think he has a good chance at podium. Enric Mas is looking very good. Remember how well he rode on that initial time trial. He's obviously going well. He just lacks something to get over Roglic, and you're not going to beat him in a sprint in this case. So, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. Stage 9, predicting. I mean, do you just say Roglic again? I think you're going to go over the top with someone, Van Eetvelt, if you're going to be down on the bottom. It's also a chance. It depends on how this goes over that top of what kind of makeup of the group is, if they're all willing to work with each other, right? I mean, if you're going over the top with Roglic and you're Enric Mas, do you even work? I mean, it depends if Ben O'Connor's there or not. Maybe you say, okay, I need to get time over him. But I mean, it's on Roglic. So will Roglic have teammates with him? You know, probably not. And there we go. Until tomorrow, take care.